Most people believe there's a number that changes everything. Maybe it's $100,000 a year. Maybe it's 200. Maybe it's finally paying off the debt that's been following you for years. Whatever the number is, it feels like life begins on the other side of it. You imagine waking up lighter, sleeping better, never worrying about bills again, and finally feeling like you've made it. So you spend years chasing more, a better job, a bigger paycheck, another promotion, because that's what everyone tells you success looks like. And to be fair, money really does solve a lot of problems. If you're constantly wondering how you'll pay rent, or whether an unexpected expense will wipe out your savings, more money changes your life. There's no question about that. But something strange starts happening after a while. You finally earn more than you ever thought you would, and somehow your mind doesn't slow down. You expected peace. Instead, the finish line quietly moved again. And if you've ever wondered why that happens, it's probably because nobody ever told you what comes after chasing more money. Let's imagine someone named Oliver. Not because he's extraordinary, but because his story looks a lot like millions of other people. At 24, Oliver believed every problem had the same solution: earn more. His apartment was small. His car barely started in the morning. He skipped weekends away because money felt too tight. So every decision revolved around one goal: increase his income. He stayed late at work, learned new skills, picked up freelance projects, turned hobbies into side income. And slowly, it worked. 35,000 became 50. 50 became 70. Eventually, Oliver crossed 6 figures. The younger version of himself would have called that success. And for a few months, it actually felt incredible. The anxiety eased. He stopped checking his bank account before buying groceries. Unexpected expenses became annoying instead of terrifying. Life genuinely improved. But then something unexpected happened. Nothing. The excitement faded. His morning coffee tasted exactly the same. Monday still arrived every week. He still felt tired after work. And despite earning more than ever, he caught himself thinking, I still don't feel finished. That's when Oliver realized something uncomfortable. He had spent years learning how to earn money, without ever learning what money was actually supposed to do. Here's something people almost never calculate. Every increase in lifestyle comes with an invisible monthly bill. Not just financially, mentally. A larger home requires more maintenance. A newer car costs more to insure. More subscriptions create more automatic spending. A higher lifestyle quietly increases the amount of money required just to feel normal. This is where financial comfort becomes dangerous, because every fixed expense reduces flexibility. Imagine losing your job tomorrow. Would your lifestyle still fit your new reality? Or would it immediately begin creating pressure? That's the question comfort rarely allows us to ask. Oliver eventually received another raise. This time, it was significant. Friends congratulated him, his family celebrated, even he believed life had changed. But 6 months later, he felt almost identical. Because although he earned much more, he also needed much more. His freedom hadn't increased. His obligations had. Money has a strange way of disappearing into whatever lifestyle we create. Economists sometimes describe this as lifestyle inflation, but psychologically, it's much simpler. Humans naturally expand to fill available space. Just like a larger house slowly fills with more furniture, a larger income quietly fills with more spending. Not because we're irresponsible, because we're human. And this creates one of the biggest financial illusions. You believe you're progressing because your income keeps growing. Meanwhile, your freedom stays exactly where it was. Here's something people rarely talk about. Money isn't valuable because of what it buys. It's valuable because of what it removes. It removes panic. It removes urgency. It removes dependence. Think about the last time you had an entire afternoon with nothing demanding your attention. No deadlines, no bills, no pressure to be productive, just time. That feeling isn't created by luxury, it's created by freedom. Real wealth isn't waking up surrounded by expensive things. It's waking up without immediately feeling owned by your schedule. Oliver slowly started noticing this. The happiest people he met weren't necessarily the richest. Some earned less than he did. Some lived in smaller homes. Some drove older cars, but they controlled their time. They weren't constantly trying to prove anything. They had enough. And somehow, enough looked far more peaceful than endless growth. For the first time, Oliver stopped asking, "How can I make more?" Instead, he asked, "What am I trying to buy with more money?" The answer surprised him. More evenings with family, more freedom to leave a stressful job, more ability to travel without anxiety, more time to think. Those weren't financial goals. They were life goals. Money had simply become the tool, not the destination. Once Oliver understood that, his decisions started changing. Not dramatically, quietly. He still invested. He still worked hard. But he stopped saying yes to every opportunity. Some projects earned more money, but stole every weekend. Others paid slightly less, but gave him back evenings. Years earlier, he would have chosen the higher number automatically. Now he measured decisions differently. Would this purchase make tomorrow easier? Or simply make today feel exciting? Would working another 20 hours this month actually improve his life? Or was he chasing a number he'd never actually defined? He realized something almost ironic. The less obsessed he became with making more money, the better his financial decisions actually became. Because fear was no longer making them. Clarity was. Instead of upgrading every time his income increased, he upgraded his flexibility. Instead of buying status, he bought options. Options to rest, options to leave, options to choose. Those choices quietly created something money alone never could. Peace. There's one final lesson Oliver learned, and it's probably the most important. At the beginning, money feels like the answer to every question. But eventually, life starts asking different questions. Who do you spend your time with? Do you enjoy your work? Can you be present without constantly thinking about tomorrow? Are you building a life or simply financing one? No salary can answer those questions for you. Money can create space, but only you decide what fills it. Some people reach financial success and keep running forever. Others slow down just enough to notice they already have what they spent years chasing. The difference isn't found in a bank account. It's found in awareness. Because at some point, earning more stops being the goal. Living better becomes the goal. And surprisingly, those aren't always the same thing. If you've spent years believing your next raise would finally make everything click, you're not wrong for thinking that. Most of us are taught to measure progress with numbers, but numbers are only useful when they point towards something meaningful. The real question isn't, how much money do I want? It's, what kind of life am I trying to build? Because once you know the answer to that, money stops feeling like the finish line. It simply becomes one of the tools that helps you get there. And maybe that's what happens after you stop chasing more money. You don't stop growing. You don't stop planning. You don't stop building wealth. You simply stop believing that one more dollar is the thing that's been missing all along. You stop chasing the number and start building the life the number was supposed to support in the first place. And in the end, that's the kind of wealth that doesn't disappear when the paycheck arrives. It stays with you every ordinary Tuesday morning when you wake up and realize you no longer feel like you're running toward a finish line that keeps moving.